the new Taurus. They've been hyping it quite a bit.
They have,
and what they're saying looks pretty good. See, this is the SEL, front-wheel drive. Has the traditional key rather than the smart key. First impression is it seems nicely powered. Haven't got it anywhere where we can really test that out yet, but we will endeavor to do so.
You recall how many horsepower this one has?
Let's see, 265, I believe.
I think you're right, yeah.
245 torque.
I see it has the paddle shifters.
That it does.
How about you, Tom? What's your impression of this car?
It seems to be well assembled. Seat seems comfortable at first glance.
Yeah.
I was curious about the blind spot. It does look like the pillar, the C-pillar in back. That's quite a blind spot. I think that's a trade-off for the
swoopy design element of it.
Yeah, I mean that's a trade-off for this kind of sloping. They referenced Audi in their presentation, and it does look somewhat Audi-like in the roof line. Audi tends to make their sedans look more coupe-like, which they've done with this car, but that is quite a that's quite a blind spot back.
One of the things that the Ford guys told us was that they've really concentrated on making this interior quiet, and that they benchmarked the Lexus, and it really feels like they've done a good job with that, because I am amazed at how quiet this car is.
That's true. True, very quiet.
So I could be wrong, but if I recall right, this was about $27,000 for this particular model.
Yeah, I think that's just about right.
I don't know if this is a pre-production car or what explains it, but if you feel this isn't.
It's not a good fit.
That's not a very good fit, and that is a glaring.
Yeah. Because it's up over here and not over here.
That's a glaring misfit of an interior piece, and I got to tell you, although it feels pretty nice in the way it moves, things like this look cheap to me.
The suspension seems pretty well sorted. It seems very, for lack of a better word, Germanic.
Yeah, well, you know what they were saying about how they tuned the suspension to be where you have a sporty ride, but it's not high impact when you hit bumps and potholes and stuff. And that seems to be right on. I mean, it's a nice feel.
How does the steering feel, Don?
Tight.
Okay.
It's front-wheel drive and very responsive.
I noticed no squeaks or rattles. Sometimes you get in these cars and you can hear, especially when going over bumpy roads. And this one sounds very quiet.
This is soft, which is nice.
I guess my kind of basic standard is when I get in a car, does it feel like a rent-a-car? And that's not a compliment. And this one doesn't feel like a rent-a-car, considering that many American cars over the last 10 years have felt like that to me.
The old Taurus was a big rental car. I mean, that was part of how they got the sales lead. A lot of those were fleet sales.
Yeah.
We have now switched drivers, and Tom Collins is behind the wheel, which sounds like a good way to get arrested. But
I'm not an open container.
And Tom, what are your first impressions?
It's got good pickup. I like the way the steering feels. I like the driving position.
Paddle shifters in a car, family car. You gotta wonder how many people will actually use them.
I think it's a thing where people buy it because it's there, and they don't necessarily use it, but it's a mental fantasy thing that they can if they want to.
Yeah, you can be Michael Schumacher in your Taurus.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, most of these, and I'm not sure on this car, but my guess would be it's the truth. Most of these paddle shifters aren't actually true sequential gearboxes. They're just basically hooked up to a computer which tells the transmission where the shift point is.
Right.
So it's an automatic transmission with basically a manual input.
It lets you override the program shift point.
Exactly.
So far, I would have to say I'm impressed.
Good. And Don, sorry, I missed you. It was booting up. So what would you say? What was your word?
Well, like I said, it's not perfect. We found a couple of small defects that we counted off for, but it's a very impressive vehicle. And I think it's definitely worth a look for anyone shopping in this price range.
Thank you.